All right. On my own terms with Solnnix. Um, Figure out an intro later, Lim. Oh, hey, look. Y'all know I said I was going to have guests on, some of my streamer friends and some of my gaming friends, and this person happens to be both. This is the person that most recently got me into some crazy shenanigans in Guild Wars 2. We're going to talk about that. And I don't know if y'all know him, but y'all know his name. Guys, we got Solnnix up in here today. What's up, Solnnix?
Hello? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Am I in the right place?
Yes, it's Solnnix. You guys, oh my gosh. All right, so just so we can get this out of the way, so people are like, who? Like, what if somebody said who? What would you say?
Yeah, I'm Solsnnix. I stream on Twitch. And I think that's really all I do that's special. I like to play video games.
That's all you do that's special.
I think my bio says that I'm nice. That's my selling point.
I mean, it is accurate. It's an accurate statement. If nothing else, it is an accurate description of my friend Solnnix. Solnnix, how do we meet? Like, what's our story?
You and I met. I think we met through Ed's stream.
This is a common theme.
I started streaming. Let's see. I think in 2019, and then I had been streaming for a little while, and then in 2020 I met Ed through playing a game called Phoenix Rising.
Ooh, yes.
And he was playing it, and I was playing it at the same time, and so I would stream in the mornings, and then he would stream right after me, so I would just raid into his stream.
Yeah.
And I think we met there, and then I started playing Overwatch with Ed, and I think that's where you and I really got to like start to actually hang out.
Yeah. It's a good hang. For those okay. So first off, the nice is you might have to upgrade your description to nice and chill, because even when you get excitable, it's so chill.
I get loud, like my volume goes up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But everyone says I'm not super animated.
Yeah, I admire that. How do you stay, like, you get loud, but like on your stream, I never see you get like upset about anything or ragey or like anything phases you. How do you get to that point, man?
I've just always been like that. So like I'm just very one tone kind of guy, I guess. My mom said like growing up I never cried as a baby.
What?
So it's just really easy for me to stay pretty neutral. I don't really have, I mean, I guess I can get worked up, but it takes a lot. So, but yeah, I mean, I would say for my stream, the thing that I've always kind of tried to go for, because when you start streaming, everyone says that you need to try to find like your niche, the thing that makes your stream special compared to everybody else's.
Yeah.
And I thought about that a lot when I first started streaming, and then decided that like I didn't really want to have a niche because I wasn't trying to attract as many eyes as I could. Like I treat my stream like when I was growing up, I would spend, like when I played video games growing up before the internet, if you can remember back then.
There was a before the internet?
Before the internet. Like my friends and I would play video games, and you would just sit on the couch with each other, and like if you played like a single player game, you would just like pass the controller around and watch and talk about it. And like I guess that's my niche, is like my stream is I'm saving you a spot on the couch. Like you can come in and just plop down and hang out and just chill is a great word. Chill for a while.
Dude, that needs to go in your description. I'm nice, so I saved you a spot on the couch. Wait,
that should make a note.
Because when you say it out loud, that definitely describes the feeling of popping into your streams.
Yeah, like I've said it before, and people make the joke. It's like, yeah, there's like 20 of us right now sitting on a couch, and it's like, yeah, I don't think the number is a problem. Like, I can have the biggest couch in the world if I need it. Like,
Is it a double decker
because
couch?
yeah, if it has to be, I'll build one.
Solnnix, master builder.
So yeah, that's what I'm striving to do, and I think that like when there are streamers who do the thing where they get really worked up and they get really intense, and that can be very entertaining.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not very entertaining. And I'm not trying to be. Like I said, I'm trying to just make a place where you can come spend time to just hang out and talk to your friends or talk about a video game or talk about whatever you want to for a little while. And some of that is because when I started streaming, before I started streaming, I worked in a call center.
Yeah.
And they gave me the ability to work from home. And this was like before the pandemic. So not everyone was doing this. And I started working from home. And it was the first job I ever had where I worked from home. And when I started doing it, I got real lonely real fast.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. I look forward to meetings during the pandemic.
Oh, man. Yeah. So like I worked because I did a call center thing, even though I was working from home, I had to be in a room all by myself. It had to be like absent of sound.
Yeah.
So no one could come talk to me or anything. And so I just got super, super lonely. And then someone mentioned Twitch to me. So I started going to Twitch. And for years I watched a streamer. He was like a big streamer.
Yeah.
So like I didn't interact with the community or anything. I just watched him every day from when I started working till I ended. And even that, just like listening to the same person talk, like that made me feel like I wasn't by myself all the time.
Absolutely.
And so when I decided to stream, I was like, that's what I want to do. I just want to be there, I guess. Just be present for anyone who like needs somewhere to go.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. He's the Twitch loneliness center.
I'm Cheers.
You're Cheers. Oh my gosh!
You can come in and have a drink and.
All right. So which bartender are you at Cheers? Are you Sam?
I don't know the show well enough.
Okay. All right.
That was a bad.
All right. I don't see you as Woody. You're too smart to be Woody. Hey, if you're listening to this episode and you're somewhere where you can leave comments based on, if you know Cheers, I need you to put the comments down. Go watch Solnnix, go watch his stream, and then come back here and put in the comments which Cheers bartender he is. I don't think he's Woody. I don't think he's Sam. I think he's Coach. I think because of Coach's nature that's you. I could be wrong. But I grew up watching Cheers as a kid. I'm not a bar guy. My family never went to bars. We we lived in New York at the time, so it was expensive to go to a bar.
Sheesh, I
bet. and secondly, we didn't drink or anything like that. So, but I'm in Wisconsin now, so I have been to bars. I don't drink. I still don't drink, but I have been to bars. And
I've probably been to a bar twice.
Yeah.
3 times my whole life. Yeah, so I don't really know that scene either, but
so all right, so you're married to a wonderful artist. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. But you also I've seen you do some art too.
Yeah, so the way I originally found Twitch is because I started teaching myself how to draw. And someone was like, they sent me a link to Twitch that was, I think his name's Darren Gears. He worked for Twitch for a while. He did, like, if you get your affiliate email and it's got like the art border at the top of the email, Darren Gears did that.
Oh, okay.
And so I went to Twitch because someone said, hey, you should go check out Darren Gears. He draws like video game stuff.
Oh wow!
And so that's the very first time I ever went to Twitch is because I went to watch Darren draw, and which was weird. I think his name's Darren. It may not be. I know his last
Fact
name
check.
is Gears.
Fact check. Fact
But
check.
anyway, I would watch him, and at the time that I watched him, I didn't realize it was live.
Oh,
Like, I thought
really?
it just worked like YouTube. I thought it was just like a video that he had put up. So,
Oh, wow.
that's how new I was to that whole thing. But that was that was cool. I watched Darren for a little while before I moved into like the video game side of things. But yeah, I have a wife who is a fantastic artist. She's been an artist her whole life. She just recently started a tattoo apprenticeship.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
She's going to be she just started working with the tattoo gun. They don't call it a gun anymore, which I think is silly. But anyway,
the needle.
The needle. She just started doing that Wednesday. So she's working on like fake skin, and it's weird. It's
wow.
It's like just a big chunk of rubber that's like the size of like an old mouse pad. And she's gotta like try to draw on these things. They feel gross.
Oh, that's great.
She's doing that, and she's hoping to be actually tattooing people by Christmas.
Oh. So does she still have an Etsy shop and such?
She does have an Etsy shop where she makes
go ahead
polymer.
and plug it if you want.
Yeah, it's called Simply Serving on Etsy. She makes little polymer clay charms that are for knitting, but a lot of people use them for different things. So a lot of people just collect them or wear them as earrings. And she's done that for years. So when I met you, when I was streaming practically full time because I was a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
My wife ran her Etsy shop, and I took care of the kids. So while they were at school, I would stream in the mornings. So everyone would come hang out and wake up to my voice, I guess.
Yes, sir. I think at that point I was still streaming in the evening.
That was like full pandemic time.
Yeah. I was still in the evening at that point, I think.
So that was so she did that the shop is kind of taking a backseat right now while she does her tattoo stuff. We're kind of hoping that the tattoo shop will be the next kind of chapter for her. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. So if I wanted to start to learn to draw, because like I said, you're amazing, and I'm trying, and it is oh my gosh, it's so hard. I'm not drawing every day, but I do. You taught me one thing, and every time I don't do it, I hear you in my ears.
Draw bigger.
Draw big. Use the whole page.
Draw bigger.
So, like, if I wanted to learn to draw, what would you say I should do? Like, because I love video game art, but I can't draw. I just can't get to that level, that style. Like your style reminds me of video game art. Like, how would I do that?
So when I started, I was reading a Spider-Man comic book. I was reading it's called Spider Island by Dan Slott, and the art was done by Roberto Ramos.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And I own the comic. I can show you like the page even where I was looking at this page, and it's not Spider-Man, it's Peter Parker talking to Mary Jane. And I was like, I want Peter Parker and Mary Jane to look like this forever. Like this, to me, this is what they look like.
Yeah.
And while looking at that page and thinking that, I thought, I mean, I wish I could draw like this.
Yeah. And
at the time, I had been teaching myself how to play guitar. And so I was like, well, if I could do one, I'm sure I could do the other. So I went home that day because I was like at work doing this. So I went home and like I said, my wife's an artist. She's been an artist since she was a little kid, and she's great at it. She went to art school and everything. So like I got home and I was like, hey, I think I might try to teach myself how to draw. And she was like, cool. She's like, I'll help you if you want or whatever. And I like to kind of learn by myself, kind of figure it out on my own. And one thing, especially with art, is like you're gonna be real self-conscious when you start. So when she was like, "Oh, I'll help you," I was like, I'll see if I can do it. I was like, "Do you have like a pencil though that I could like a art pencil or whatever?" And so she gave me a pencil, and I think I just had like copy paper right out of the copy machine that I drew with. And what I did is I just got on YouTube and I was like, how to draw comic book characters, and I found a video of a guy drawing Robin from Teen Titans.
Yeah. Oh.
And it was just his head. It's just like his head and his shoulders.
Yeah.
And so I just followed him. He was like, draw a circle and now make a line through divide it in half and put the eyes. And I just did everything he did step by step. And I drew Robin. And then he had one for Superboy, and I did that one too. And I took the picture of Robin to my wife, and I was like, what do you think? And she looked at it for a couple of minutes, and she's like, yeah, I think you could draw this. I was like, I did. That's mine. She was like, oh. She's like, well, yeah, then I think you're fine. So I think that like really helps is get on YouTube and watch someone do it step by step. So they just follow along. And once you do it a few times, you start to kind of get the muscle memory. I think a lot of people get in their own head about it. They're like, well, I can't copy other people's work, or I got to do it myself. And it's like,
that's where
you're doing this. Yeah. But you're doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Like even if you were to have goals to do it for like money or a career or whatever, when you first start, you're doing it for fun. You're doing it because you want to do it. So I think the best way to do that is to do what's fun. And for me, it's to like actually draw something that looks good. So that's what I do. I would get like just whatever reference and just try to draw it one for one. And you can find a lot of videos on YouTube. YouTube is like, if you want to learn how to do anything, YouTube is like the place to do it.
Absolutely. I am not a handy guy, and last weekend we changed out and fixed up our toilet because of YouTube stuff. We realized there was a piece missing that the people that flipped that house and sold it to us did not have in there.
Oh no! So
we were like,
toilet?
Yeah. We were like, that's bad.
Was it the wax ring?
Yeah, it was the part that goes down in the pipe. And the wax ring deals with it. Like that whole thing they had wrong.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, yeah, this is a problem. This should not have been a thing.
Yeah, I used YouTube for everything. I used it to change spark plugs the other day. Like I was like, I'm not sure how to do this, and I Googled it or I YouTubed it, and I found like the same exact car that I have.
Oh wow!
Showing like how to change spark plugs on. So I was like, oh man, this is so nice. So anytime someone's like, you're so handy, I'm like, no, I'm not. I just know how to work YouTube.
Well, okay, so what's the craziest thing that YouTube has helped you with?
Craziest thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I know that for me, again, I am not mechanical at all. And a lot where I live, we get lots of different types of wasps and bees. And the craziest thing that helped me with was to talk my wife into calling an exterminator.
Wow.
Because she was like, no, we'll just get the powder. We'll do it ourselves and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. And I showed her the video of this pro guy doing it. And he was all suited up. And the wasps were still coming at him hard. I was like, we don't own any of that equipment. Now, which is going to be less? The hospital bill or calling the exterminator?
Yeah, I'm not messing with anything that can actually fight me back. There's an army of soldiers that you want to go up against.
Yeah. And they're tiny, and they can get to places I don't want them. So my dad always...
I used YouTube quite a bit when we were redoing our house too. You said the thing about the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just anything. Just whatever you need to do. Like I've been watching actually recently. I've been watching YouTube videos on like how to cut a tree down.
Oh,
because I got a big dead tree in the backyard, And at first I was like, yeah, I'll just cut it. I'll just cut it right at the base with the chainsaw.
No.
Like, I'm totally fine.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok this about this how this guy cut down this tree. And he basically cut it, but he cut a slot. Like he cut it where it was he cut the top the base, then he went down and cut a slot over a little bit up, and then the rest of the base. And the tree, because it had that little slot, it was like a hinge, it just fell straight as he cut it. And it was super close to a house. So he just cut it and it fell straight. It did not hit the house. It didn't hit anybody's anything because he had that hinge on it. I was like, okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's so when I was watching videos, yeah, that's what I was thinking is like whatever way you want it to fall, you kind of make like a triangle wedge shape on that side, and then you cut the other side in it. And yeah, hinge is like a perfect way to say it. I didn't think of that. You make like a hinge at the base of the tree and it falls that way.
Yeah.
I have a big dead tree in my backyard and I have an empty lot right next to my house. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll just have it fall into the lot. And so I was talking to my brother-in-law's got a chainsaw. I was like, hey, can I borrow your chainsaw? And he's like, yeah. He's like, but just come get it whenever you want. And then the weekend I had planned to do it. My neighbor who keeps bees for a hobby.
No.
Put all his bees in that lot. So I was like, well, can't do it now. Bunch of bees over there that I don't want to mess with.
That'll be a problem. That'll be a problem. Well, at least,
I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
At least you get some good honey, though, right?
Yeah, he does. He does. He brings me honey like once a year. He brings me a big jar. He doesn't get more local than your backyard.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. All right. So, what are you playing right now? And not just on stream. Like, what are you playing? I guess you could talk about what you're playing on stream, and then what's your off-stream game.
Yeah, so this is something I kind of wanted to talk to you about a little bit, but so playing on stream and playing off stream too is I've been playing Dark Souls 3.
Ooh.
And yeah, so but the reason I wanted to talk to you about it is because I wanted to discuss like the community of games, not just like the community, like because when you stream on Twitch, you make a community with the people that you hang out with, whether it's in your stream or in the streams you go to. But games have communities too.
Yeah, they do.
And so the very first Souls-like game I played was Elden Ring. And I played it when it came out. I played it on stream. And everyone I talked to was so toxic about it. They would be like, you're not playing right. You need to do this.
Oh,
you need
really?
To do that, you know? And it got to the point where it was like just not fun to play because I was always upsetting someone.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I don't really like these games anyway because they're hard.
Yeah.
And I don't want to subject myself to this, so forget it.
Nope.
And so I put it down when that game came out, and then about a couple months ago, I really, really like playing games that have a sense of adventure, that are like open world and you explore, and you learn like a new world. Like that's my thing. That's what I really love doing. And so I was trying to find a game like that, and my little brother who loves Dark Souls and loves all the Souls games, he was like, "You really should try Elden Ring again." And I was like, it just had such a bad taste in my mouth from last time.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, he's like, play it, but don't stream it. He's like, just play it on your own and don't listen to anybody else. He's like, you just figure it out all on your own. He's like, if you need help, you can ask me, but he's like, I think you'd have fun if you just kind of figure it out. And so that's what I did. I played it and I just went slow and I didn't really tell anyone I was playing it, so no one would give me their 2 cents.
Yeah.
And man, I fell in love with that game.
Really?
It got its claws into me so deep. I was playing it every second I had. And it's interesting because the Dark Souls games are hard, but it's just like a different play style, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you've never played a first person shooter, the first time you play one, it's hard until you learn how to play it.
Right.
And the Dark Souls games are kind of the same. So once I had that aha moment and it clicked, I really started enjoying it. And then I started streaming it. And because I knew what I was doing, it was a lot more fun. But when I started streaming it again a few months ago, that game's been out for years now.
So years? It's not It's not like a year and a half.
Maybe you might be closer to the mark than I am. Anyway, it's not brand new.
Yeah, it's not new. It's not last week.
Yeah. So the people that would come to my streams to see me play, these are the people who really love that game. And I feel like this is it's a better representation of what that community is.
Yes. Absolutely.
And those people, yeah, they're just super excited. They like show up and they're like, how far are you? And it's like, oh, I'm not very far yet. And they're like, all right, cool. Are you having fun? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And they're like, then I'm in. I want to see you have fun. So,
that's great. That's the communities I like. I love that.
Yeah, and I was gonna say something to you about it because I think Guild Wars 2, which is you mentioned at the beginning, is something you and I play, and it's another one of those games where it's like, it's not the most popular MMO in the world, but the community there, they really love that game.
So good.
And because of that, they really share. Like last time I streamed it, you were there.
Yep.
You and I, we did the Tower of Nightmares. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
And so Tower of Nightmares is it's like a dungeon where they want you to go in with a group of players. And so it was you and me and my brother was there. Actually, my little brother was there. And then we had a random who just found my stream and was like, hey, what are you guys doing? It's like, oh, we're trying to do this tower that we have no idea what we're doing. He's like, all right, I'm in. And he just showed up in the game. He's like, yep, that's me.
Let's go.
Sending him a party invite. He's like, all right, here we go. All right.
I have found that there is almost no community as cool and as helpful and as openly loving as Guild Wars 2. Even their PvP groups, which is definitely, the most aggressive group, is still better than any other PvP group I've ever seen.
Yeah, I haven't done any of that yet, but I can imagine that. I'm sure. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you love the game, especially like Guild Wars, like if there aren't people playing it, they're going to shut it down.
Yeah.
Like they've got to keep. So if you love the game, you're definitely going to try to get anybody in. It's like, yeah, you should come play this game. Because I don't want them turning it off.
By the way, folks, it is free to play. Free to play. Did you get any of the expansions?
I have 3 of them.
Okay. Everything that I think we did, that we've done so far, is still in free to play stuff.
Yes. Yep.
You get
the thing that I was just the Tower of Nightmares that I was just talking about, completely free. You can level up a character and run that with your friends, and it was a blast.
It's so crazy that
there's
so much in that game.
I'll be honest, Lynn, playing the Tower of Nightmares with you guys rejuvenated part of my enjoyment of video games.
Oh,
I started to feel really stagnant with gaming. And doing that with you guys, I was like, yeah, this is what I enjoy doing.
We were on the couch.
Yeah, exactly. We were on the couch just chipping away at that. Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
All right, so what do you play? Like what character do you play? What type of character do you play in Guild Wars?
In Guild Wars, I'm playing a ranger. So for anyone who's not familiar with Guild Wars, it's a massively multiplayer online game. And when you start the game, you pick a class. Guild Wars in particular has 9 classes.
It has, yes, I believe it's 9. Yeah, 5 races, 9 classes.
9 classes. And then those classes can kind of change. But I'm playing what's called a ranger, which I think you also play.
I play a ranger. I have one from almost every class. But the one I was playing with you guys is my tanky ranger.
So my brother does that too. He's got one of every class, and he's constantly switching between. And I'm like, there's too much content for me to play more than one dude. I gotta make one character.
Well, here's the thing, especially story content. The beginning, at least the up to level 40, it's different depending on which race you choose, and which class you choose, and which guild you choose. you get different story beats, and even within that, you can get different story beats. My friend Amanda and I, we were doing the same story. This past, actually yesterday, on the God Games and Geekery channel, we were playing it, and we had the same story. We had up to the same point, and they gave us 3 choices of these sub races that you could learn more about, and only one of ours was the same.
Oh, so like you both chose different races, and so it led you to different zones. Is
Yep.
what you're saying? Oh yeah, that's cool. So out of the races, I picked the human, which is, man, I regret it. It's like the most boring race. Yeah, these people are just us. It's like, you want to be a cat dude or a plant person? I was like, no, I'll just be a human.
I'm a human.
It'll be fine.
Female plant person, aka Salad, aka the Solvari, has
Salad?
they call them salads in the community. They're known as salads.
That's fair.
The female voice acting for that character is 1000% the best voice acting character that of race and class and all that stuff that you can choose. 1000%.
Yeah, so the human male is what I'm doing, and that voice actor is Nolan North.
Yes,
which everybody knows that guy. And I'll be honest, I think this might be his worst delivery. It is terrible. That's one of the reasons I don't like being a human, is because every time my guy speaks, I'm like, oh, shut up. I should have played somebody else. Yeah, that game has so many voice actors that everybody would know.
Oh yeah,
like if you've ever watched Critical Role, they're all in Guild Wars.
Everybody's in it, and Spider-Man, voice of Disney Infinity, Yuri Rosenthal.
Yeah, Yuri something.
Yeah, he's in it.
He's in it.
He does some bit parts in there, and I was like, I hear it, and I'm like, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it is. Also, who's the guy who does Joel from The Walking Dead or The Last of Us?
Oh, God darn it,
Troy Baker.
Yeah, Troy Baker.
Yeah, he's in it. He's one of the Destiny Edge dudes.
Yeah, everybody's in this game. If you are not, this is quickly becoming a Guild Wars 2 episode. But seriously, if you have a PC that has a processor that was made within the past, 5 years, you could probably play this game.
It doesn't take much.
It does not take much.
You should, and with it, like you said, it's free. So everyone, if you haven't tried it, you should try it. And you should try it because, one, if you're listening to this podcast, you're friends with Lim, and you could, that's another video game you could play with Lim.
Just saying. Also, you guys, if try it out, get to your level 80, do all the free stuff. Inevitably, either Black Friday or during the winter sale, you're going to see it. If you get it from Steam, probably, but if you get it from ArenaNet directly, you definitely will see it. You'll see some crazy major price cuts for all the DLC.
Yeah, and now you can get the first 3 DLC and in one pack for the price of one anyway.
Yeah. Wait, that might be on sale now then.
It might be.
Yeah.
They just had a new expansion come out like a month ago.
Yeah, which is really good. Janther Wilds.
A lot of people playing, a lot of new stuff. Can't recommend it enough.
I am.
You want to sit on the couch with your friends. Here's a way to do it.
I'm looking it up right now. Okay, so you can get the first two for the first 2 expansions for 30. The second expansion,
maybe that's what it was.
The third expansion for 30 by itself. The third one is the Secret of the Obscure is $24.99, and Janther Wilds is $24.99.
Yeah, so there's only 4 expansions. So see, I get confused because they also do those living world things. I would sometimes count those, but those aren't anything anyone has to have.
No, but they are good stories. They are good.
Yeah, they're just story content.
Yeah, it's good story content. You actually get some extra stuff from it and gear and all that stuff. Yeah, I highly suggest it. It took me a year. Just because I was playing it mostly on stream. I would play some of it out off stream, but it took me a year to get through the first 2, maybe 3 expansions. And I still didn't see everything. I still haven't done everything. I've barely touched World versus World. That's what we should do next, Solnnix. We should do
I've
World
never
versus
done
World.
World versus World, so
Yes.
yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, because then it's not just like, okay, here's your small squad. It is usually a giant army going up against another giant army. It's a lot of fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I play, like, I've been building my ranger to be a healer. So
ooh, you got the druid.
Alive. Yeah.
Nice.
It's like one of the only games where I was like, you know what? I'll be a support character. Because usually I'm a tanky dude.
Yeah.
So.
That's me too. I'm usually a tanky dude, and this game is no different for my ranger. Ranger, you would think, oh, bow and arrow, maybe a dagger. Nah, man, I'm carrying out a giant hammer.
Just like a rock on the end of a stick.
It is literally a rock on the end of a stick.
Yeah. Not a little rock. It's a big rock. But it's just stuck on the end of a stick. Just running around smacking dudes with it.
Solnnix was like, let me yeah, don't worry about it. He's good.
Yeah, he's all right with it. He's fine.
What is he doing? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We're over here when you're ready, buddy.
Oh man. All right.
So Lim, that's your first MMO, right?
Yeah, I actually played the original Guild Wars when it first came out, but not for very long. And then somebody tried to get me to play what's the not the God darn it, the Skyrim type one.
Oh, Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online.
ESO?
Yeah. And I have it. I started it recently again. But it really hasn't grabbed me. But I am all in on Guild Wars. Our friend Ryan asked me to try it. He's like, "Hey, look, it's free. Just play to level 80, check the story out, finish the story, and see what you think." By level 15, I was like, "Oh, I'm in. I am in. This is great." He says, "You like it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden, I get a gift on Steam of the next 2 expansions. I hadn't even gotten through the main story yet.
Yeah, but you gotta get those mounts.
Yeah, I think that's why he did it.
It's taking you so long to get everywhere.
And then he said, then I was through this halfway through the first expansion. He's like, "Oh, you still loving it?" I was like, "Yeah." "All right, check your inbox. 3rd expansion." I'm like, "Dude, let me finish the first one." He's like, "Nah."
Yeah, it's that carrot on the stick, though.
Yeah, he's like, "You're in now."
You're one of us.
I think at this point, I'm further than him.
So with playing like you have,
Yeah.
do you think you would have played that game if it didn't have the community aspect of it?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Like, I went on just to get people's opinions on how I should build what. And I found Sen, I found El Trio and Big Hippie, and it's just a ton of people that didn't look down on me for being a noob. Right?
Yeah, they're just excited.
Yeah,
Like,
Lissa Sheeta, Jukebox Hero, who is now Hero Arcade, I think, or Jukebox Arcade. But they all were welcoming, and I would ask questions, and they didn't think I was dumb. If they didn't know, they would say, "Hey, this is the person you talk to about it." And I'm looking at my Steam, my Steam deal right here, and I've got 16 friends that have played this recently. And I didn't even know that some of these people play this game.
The couch is growing.
The
16.
couch is growing. Oh my gosh.
That's when I brought up Dark Souls earlier. It's because that's what I was getting around to. Is like that sense of community where you're going to streams or you're going to find people, because not only do you want looking for someone to play with, but you also just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You just want to like talk about like, wasn't this story beat cool? Isn't this item really good looking? What do you think about the plushie mounts? What are the like? That's you want to talk about those things with people, and that sense of community. It's really that I think that's probably my biggest draw to Twitch. Honestly, is like getting to actually share those things with people.
Yeah.
And so that I'm always got my eye out for games like that I can like actually share and enjoy with other people and not just myself.
All right.
That was go ahead.
No. All right. I was going to ask. You just said you're always on the lookout for games like that. What are other games that you think I should be looking at, for whether it's on stream or not? What are the games do you think I should be looking at that I am right now? I think you should try Elden Ring, but not online. I mean, not streaming it. I have to. I should.
I think you could. I think now, if you streamed it, people who were nice people who were just excited to see someone new playing it is who would show up.
Okay, I'm gonna put Elden Ring on my wish list. I'm gonna. Oh my gosh! Hold on. There's stuff playing. I don't want this to play. Okay.
So, Hyrule Reaper, who I'm sure a lot of people know, here in the Twitch community, he's never played a Dark Souls game, and when he was watching me play Elden Ring, he was like, "Man, you're having so much fun! Like, I want to try." And I was like, "You should, and you should stream it, and I'm sure nice people will come and help you." And he had the same experience I did. He played it, and nice people showed up, and they were like, "Oh man, this is great. You should do like you could." It's at the point now where people are like, "You could do this or you could do that if you wanted to try to see if it helps."
Yeah.
But mostly they're just encouraging you to play. But watching him play, there's a particular boss fight in that game that is really hard, and it's only really hard because if you're not used to those types of games, it's very different. It's just not what you're used to.
Right.
And so every time I watch new people play and they get to that boss fight, I always tell them, I'm like, this is like the first big hurdle. And once you figure this hurdle out, the rest of the game will be much easier if you can stick through this fight. And so when people stream it and you get to watch them do the fight, and they'll usually have to do it a few times, which is fine. Don't get frustrated. Just, pay attention to what you're doing and learn, because that's the big thing about those games is you have to learn how to play them. And so when people learn that fight and they have the aha moment where they're like, "Oh, this is how you fight this dude." It's like more like, I'm not a sports guy, but I figure that's how people feel when their team's winning the Super Bowl. Like, I'm just so excited. I'm like, "They got it! They figured it out! Look at them! They're gonna win! They solved it!" It's so great. It's so great.
Okay.
And that's
go ahead.
It's just that's what I want from Twitch and from video games. I just want that sense of like everyone just so excited for whatever, whatever it is. So
all right. So it's on the wish list. What else? Is there another game or two that I should be looking at? Because Elden Ring, Elden Ring fits within the genre of games that I've been going at for this year. It's been gacha games and fantasy games.
Oh man, yeah, gacha. Yeah, we both like Wuthering Waves. That's another great game. When it talked about community, like that's a single player game, honestly, but still real great community. If you're looking for people that you want to share something with. Yeah, it's probably not for you if you're not into anime, but otherwise.
I mean, if you like action, honestly, I am not an anime guy. Like, I wouldn't consider myself an anime guy, but I do love the quick action fight style, but with a story.
Yeah, and you can play it on your phone.
And I can play it on my phone, dude. Okay, so I was introduced to gotcha games with I knew about what's the one that everybody says, Genshin Impact. Okay.
Yes.
I knew about that. I started it, but I didn't really get far. I've restarted it since recently. Still haven't gotten far. But the first one was Honkai Star Rail, and I got into it later than some, but earlier than a lot. Our friend Fate Walker really started to walk me through some stuff with that, and when I first got that game, I was on the road with our youth weekends in February. We were driving from Wisconsin to Wichita, Kansas, and I had my Steam Deck. I had all these games on my Steam Deck. I had a memory card in there. I was ready to go, and I had the outlet in the car. I could plug it in if I needed to. That whole weekend, the drive to, and then all the way through, and to the drive back, I barely touched my Steam Deck. I was on Honkai Star Rail the whole time. My breaks,
They're good.
Honkai Star Rail. Dude, I used so much data.
Oh man, I didn't think of that. Jeez. But yeah, those games are good. I still haven't played Honkai Star Rail. I've watched you play it. I am interested in it.
Yeah.
I will say for anyone who's not played one of these games and they want to try playing these games, Genshin Impact is the worst one.
Yeah.
Not only is it not like there are things about the game itself that are not great, but that's the one that is like you'll get to a point in the game where they're like, all right, you got to start giving us money if you want to keep playing.
Yeah. They won't say it like that, but that's how that worked. And what's funny is Honkai Star Rail is made by the same people that do Genshin Impact. And Honkai Star Rail, they give stuff free all the time. There was a 5-star, which is the top level, free 5-star character that they gave when I first started. I was like, are you what? And yeah, they kept me with that because of the generosity there.
Yeah, my brother plays Honkai Star Rail, and he said the same thing. It's like every time you log in, they give you something, whether it's minor or major, but they're very generous about keeping you playing.
Yeah.
I play Wuthering Waves, which is similar but made by a different company, like you said. And I've played that quite a while now, and I haven't given them $1.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think I need to.
No,
So
you do not.
If your fear is money, if you haven't tried one of these games, because you're like, oh, I don't want to give them a bunch of money. As long as you don't play Genshin Impact, you don't have to.
Yeah. They're very generous and good fun stuff.
What was the other one?
Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Zenless Zone Zero, and then there's Honkai Impact the Third, which is another one. Which that whole system is a little confusing for me, so I stick with Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Waves. Those are the two that I do.
Yeah, Honkai the Third. That's actually the first of these games.
Yeah.
So that's like the oldest one.
And
I've
still,
not tried that one either.
still more generous than Genshin Impact.
Genshins making so much money now. It's like
Yeah.
they're like breaking records. And they like make the most money. I think like them and League of Legends make like the most video game money in a year.
Oh. All right.
Is wild.
What any other games I should be looking at? I'm ready to add some stuff to my my wish list.
I don't know. I can pull up my Steam and look here with you. But
Also, if you're listening and you're listening on somewhere where you can make a comment, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments.
have you played like survival games? Like that's another game that type of game that has a good community.
I have Power World. And
yeah, I wouldn't really count that one though.
And
But
then
do you enjoy it?
I've barely played it. It came out. I got it because I really wanted it, and I like what I see. But I've also looked at Ark, but I die on the beach. So
yeah, and that's the thing is like if you're gonna try these survival games, I think they have great communities, but it's That's the key. You need to play with people. Those games are not really meant to play by yourself.
Yeah, I think my survival game I'll start with. I'll keep with How World, but Elden Ring's on the list.
Yeah, it should be on the list.
All right.
Baldur's Gate 3 is another one. It's got a great community. Got a great community. That's
Gate
just
3.
An amazing video game. I think you would really like that game.
I will put it on the wish list
because it's a story game. Yeah, you can put it on easy if it ends up being too much combat wise. But that game is really a narrative game first and a combat game second.
Yeah, because I have Divinity Original Sin 2 as well, which is basically old school Baldur's Gate.
I have that game. I haven't played it.
Yeah,
but it plays similar. Oh, another game for streaming on Twitch that has a fantastic community and is a survival game is Subnautica. Have you ever played Subnautica?
I own it. I've never played it.
So Subnautica, everything in Subnautica is like an actual fear of mine in real life. Like I'm claustrophobic. I've been rescued from drowning multiple times in my life.
Oh wow!
So and that's what that game is. The whole game's underwater in caves. So I was like, I don't know about this. That's probably the first game I streamed on Twitch that I played to stream on Twitch. I was like, I know this game will do well if I stream it on Twitch. So I kind of made myself.
Yeah.
And I fell in love.
Oh, really?
Game. It has a special spot in my heart. It is so amazing. And it's probably not for everyone because it is a game that it doesn't hold your hand. It just plops you down on this planet and it's like, all right, you got to figure out how to get off.
Oh, yeah. I need the hand holding. I need the arrows pointing me to places.
Yeah, there's none of that in Subnautica. It's all you got to figure. It's all about exploring, and I think that's my favorite aspect of video games. It would probably be games that let me explore. That's what I really, really love. And so that game, that's all it is. It's just got to look in every nook and cranny, and I loved it so much. It was so fun.
Nice.
When you start, do you remember when you started playing video games? Was there like a moment or a game where you were like, this is for me? Like I'm hooked on this gaming thing.
I kind of have two chapters. There was the kid chapter, and then I got out of gaming to a degree for a while, and then I got back into it when we got an Xbox, like the original Xbox. Mm-hmm. Actually, when I would have got a Dreamcast. Wait, no, Sega Saturn.
Freaking Dreamcast! Yeah. You played a Dreamcast?
Yeah, I had every Sega machine you could get.
Wow,
really? Or at least, like, you know how you had this the 32, like the I forget what you call it, but the Sega. It was Sega's 32-bit deal. So I had Master System, I had Genesis, I had Sega CD, which you put the Genesis on, which basically gave you this the 64-bit deal. I had the Saturn, and I had the Dreamcast.
Wow, a Sega guy. I don't know if I've ever met like a Sega guy.
Like hardcore Sega guy. Like,
wow.
And that actually was the thing with my friend group was, we're going to Lem's house. We all have Nintendos. We all get to play Nintendo games. We're going to Lem's house. We're going to play Sega stuff.
Wow, yeah, that's cool. I knew one guy growing up as a kid who had a Sega something. I mean, I only saw it like a handful of times, so I'm not even sure what it was. But we played Mortal Kombat on it. Other than that, I don't know. I don't really know much about Sega.
Dude, Crazy Taxi was Space Channel 9, Seaman. What else? Oh, just. I would look if y'all know how to find. Hold on, we're gonna keep this real quiet. If you guys know how to find Zillion or Zillion 2 that I could play on my PC, that would be great.
I'll find it. I'll find it. I played Crazy Taxi in the arcade machine in the front lobby of Walmart. You know where the Walmart's at? Video games in the front lobby. Played Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, man. Crazy Taxi.
And one of those games where you hold like the plastic gun.
Oh, yes. Oh, we had that was my first when I think that one right there is the Sega Master System, and it was Jungle Hunt. And you can't play these games now unless you have a CRT TV. But I played Jungle Hunt, and I was blasting. And Peter, don't come after me. Digital animals. But it also had Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And, oh, dude, I actually recently picked up the remake of Alex Kidd. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. You can get it. Oh, it looks like it's on Steam right now at time of recording for $3.99.
And these are Sega games, right?
This is a Sega game, yeah.
Wow. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, it is. It's merged games, but Alex Kidd was for me. It was only on Sega, so none of my Nintendo friends got it. And it looked very much Mario Brothers.
Okay.
But they have the DX it's the new updated looking mode. But you can go back into the nostalgic mode, and it looks like the old one. It's so good. And
go ahead.
Oh, and they also because it was one of those games where when you died, there were no continues. When you died, you died. There was no saving. There was none of that. Now they have it. And matter of fact, they have it where you have infinite lives. And in the ad, it says, actually finish it now. Like, oh, they know us. They know us.
There was an old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game on like the original Game Boy that was the same way. It was like impossible to beat, and then they did a remaster here recently, and that was like their pitch. It was like, hey, you can actually finish it now.
Yeah, they got the Cowabunga collection.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I have that on for G3, and I put it in the arcade at our festival, and we had people. They, as a community, the God Games of Geekery community, they finished the unfinishable game.
Oh, nice! That's awesome.
They were like, all right, your 10 minutes is up. They would pause it. All right, you're in. they
see that's so cool.
They were on the hard plastic chair couch together.
Nice. Hard plastic. Yeah. I spent a lot of time playing Halo in my teenage years.
Oh.
And back then, it was still kind of pre-internet. And so we did System Link. So you would have, like, everyone had their own TV and Xbox.
Yes.
You're all cramped into a room. And it's hot from all the electronics. And, it's a bunch of teenage boys, so it smells terrible. And those were my teenage years.
Oh, that's great. Hey, Solnnix, where can people find you?
Right now it's just Twitch, Solnnix, and then which is Solnnix, and then I do have a YouTube channel. I've been doing some quick look videos, so I've been going through Steam and just like finding demos and playing them for like an hour, and then making like a real condensed video of whatever the game is, just to kind of get awareness for those types of games. So
nice.
Same thing, just Solnnix on YouTube.
Guys,
I don't really have any social media other than that.
Go follow Solnnix. And then once you get to know him and love him like I do, join his Discord. Go hang out. And if you get a second, please, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, do a review. Let us know. I would love to be able to read reviews on here. I know that we got a couple of comments on our last YouTube post, and I want to say thank you to Paul Griffin 13 PG-13 for reminding me that you're the one that came up with the title of the podcast. I mean, it's my phrase, but you reminded me. Thank you. That was the comment on YouTube. He said,
yeah.
The good thing I he said, thanks for telling everybody that I gave you the title. Dang it, I totally forgot.
It's a good title.
It's a good title
for anyone who knows you.
Yeah.
And I will do a little shout out for Lim too. Leave a comment, even if it's just like, hey, that's great. Because for anyone who's making content, it really helps to know that people are actually like watching.
Yeah, it does. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Well, Solnnix, thanks for being here. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh man. And as we say, what were we talking about?